So we got to talking about safety and iRating during the stream. Here is the best way I can describe them both. Warning, it's a bit of a long video.
What is top split?
Let me turn this down so we don't get interrupted. So iRacing has two rating systems that you can gain or lose within those systems. One is called the safety rating, and the other one is called the iRating. Safety rating determines
The split and not in law.
Yeah, safety rating determines what car you can drive, how safe you are, how least amount of times you hit the wall and go off track or hit another car or involved with another wreck. Here's the thing though. With the safety rating stuff, like if I'm bump drafting a car, if I just bump into a car and then a couple seconds later he gets into a wreck, I get the points from that. That determines your license rating, your SR, your safety rating. So you start at rookie, and then you can only drive a certain cache of cars, right? Then you move up to D class, then that opens up more cars. Then B class, it opens up to or C class, it opens up to trucks, and then B class, like it opens up to Xfinity, and then A class opens up all the way up to Cup. So you can lose the ability to race Cup in officials. Now you can still do it in hosted events. You can race whatever car you buy, but in the official categories, you can only race what your license or let you race. So the safety rating is that portion of it. I might lose my A license. I'm at a 2.4, but I've got 8X and only 40 lap race. Like that's quite a bit. So I'm going to take a little bit of a hit. I'll probably lose like a point 0.03 or 0.04, which might bring me down to a 2.3. At the end of this week, though, this is a special week. This is week 13. At the end of this week, you can lose your license if you're below a 2.0. So normally, like if you get below a 2.0, it's no big deal. You got a few weeks to get it above 2.0 because our schedule runs on a 12-week schedule with a 13th week built in for them to do updates. So you got normally you got a little bit of time to get your rating up, but on this particular week, if you're below a 2.0 at the end of the week, you're going to lose your license. So there's a possibility I could lose my ability to race Cup Series stuff, but I don't ever race it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But that's safety rating. Okay.
Can you quit a race because it's a crash fest and you don't want to risk your rating?
All right, so it doesn't work that way, Henry. All right, so to expand on safety rating is calculated like per 100 corners that you do. That's when it kind of starts. It gets you your baseline. How many clean corners per 100 corners? So if I have 5 or 6 clean 0x races, that's a very clean slate.
What's up, brother?
But then once I sprinkle in a 4x race, that stays on until it washes itself out, right? I got to complete all those corners, and that's going to hang on. So if I get a 4x, 12x, like those hang on, and then if I have a clean race next time, it doesn't count as good as that clean race had when I had like 4 or 5 clean races before that, right? So it's all aggregate, right? So you have a couple bad races, it stays on your record until you get those washed out. But if you have a couple more, like it's, you know what I'm saying? So it ebbs and flows. So if you quit and you don't complete those extra laps, now you've got a hard stop or if I got 8x, I've only completed 12 laps. Well, now I've got a hard stop of 12 laps at 8x. Well, now if I go into the next race and let's say I get a 4x on the first couple of laps, now I've got a 4x, a 12x following, with a 4x following it, and then like it just builds on itself. So you can quit, but it's a bad idea to quit because you need those extra laps to help wash that out. You got to wash it all out.
Clear all around. Front straightaway. Checker flag.
Yeah. 12x. That's what I was. That's what I was worried about. Now, iRating, how good you do versus the competition. You start out with a 1350, and that's like your default. And as you race up through the license rating, you get a rating on how well you finish per with people that have displayed like skill, like finishes of yours. Now you can cheat the safety rating system and ride around in the back and get a bunch of safety rating and never hit anything, but your I rating is going to be in the toilet. I would rather have a higher I rating and let the safety rating fall wherever it may, because the higher the I rating, that generally tells you, wow, that person generally finishes up towards the front, no matter what competition he has, because he's got a pretty good I rating. I think anything over 3,000, I think is really good. Anything under 3,000 is still pretty good. But it seems like 3,000 is pretty good to be at. So I rating, look at everybody as like if they have like beads, right? Like every driver has beads. The number one car is the highest I rating in that server, not on iRacing, just in that particular server. If there's 900 people that sign up for a server, they have to break those into splits. That's where you get top split, second split, third split, right? So if there's 30 splits, there's 30 cars per split. That's 900 cars there, right? So that's possible, right? So the best car in that server is number one, and then it goes to number two, three, and then as you gain I rating throughout the I rating system, your I rating ranks you within those servers. Now, if you're first and you finish eighth, it's not necessarily where you finish. So it's the number of cars that finish. So if you beat car number 2, 3, 4, and 5, but you get beat by number 23, 24, 25, 26, they're gonna those cars are gonna steal a lot more I rating from the guys that are ranked much more higher than them, right? So if you're the one car, you're gonna need to finish about in the top 8, 7 or 8 to kind of be negligible, where you're not going to lose any I rating, because even if the lower cars finish ahead of you, that's still a lot of positions that are within that. So you need to, if you're the one car, you need to be finishing up towards the top, because you don't want to lose any I rating. That's all it is. So when you lose it, it goes into the pot. Like an iRacing doesn't get your I rating. All the other drivers in that server get your I ratings. Like when you go into the server, picture an I rating pot, and there's only a certain amount of percentage that you can gain, that you can grab out of that pot, that you're going to be able to gain if you're the number one car. Where if you're the number 30 car, you have an opportunity to gain more of a percentage, because you're a lower skilled driver within that server. So if you finish up above the higher skilled driver ranked within that server, you're going to get a bigger piece of the pie than the higher skilled driver finishing in the higher position. I hope that makes any sense. I don't know, but that's iRating. That's kind of how iRating is done. I hope that makes sense to you guys.
It's complicated. Wow, sounds like you got it down.
It is complicated. It is complicated, but it's really not. Once you understand it, it's really not that bad. Like you can be the one car, and you can start last, and you can finish fifth, and you think, oh, I passed all these cars, because that's the way I first started it. When I first started, that's what I thought. Oh, if I start in the back and I pass a bunch of cars, but I race them clean, then I'm going to get more I rating, because I've but that's not. That's just, you get more safety rating. You get I rating based on where you finish per the cars, per the like drivers of your skill. It has nothing to do with how many cars you pass. I thought it did at first, but it doesn't. All right, how bad was it? Oh, see, we're down to a 2.15.
Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe or like button and leave a comment. Come join the live streams nightly.